Have you ever looked at your blood pressure reading, saw a number your doctor would probably smile at, and thought, good, I don't have to worry anymore? That single moment of relief may be the biggest misunderstanding many older adults make. Because your blood pressure monitor measures pressure, but it doesn't measure the health of your arteries, your heart, or how well the rest of your body is truly functioning. That little screen can't tell you whether your heart is working harder than it should. It can't reveal if your kidneys are under stress. And it certainly doesn't tell you whether your medication is quietly affecting other parts of your body. A normal reading is important, but it's only one piece of a much bigger health picture. Imagine two neighbors. Both are 72 years old. Both take Losartan every morning. Both have nearly identical blood pressure readings. Yet one spends weekends gardening, sleeping well, and playing with grandchildren, while the other wakes up exhausted, feels dizzy after standing, and notices their memory isn't as sharp as it used to be. Same medication, same blood pressure, very different lives. Why? Because the number on the screen never tells the entire story. And that's exactly what we're going to uncover today. But before we continue, let me be absolutely clear. This video is not a reason to stop taking your medication. Blood pressure medicines like Lisinopril, Losartan, and Amlodipine have helped millions of people lower their risk of heart attacks and strokes. Stopping them suddenly without medical advice can be dangerous. Instead, today's goal is much simpler: to help you ask better questions and recognize warning signs earlier. Most importantly, we want to help you work with your doctor so your treatment supports your whole body, not just your blood pressure reading. After years of studying cardiovascular health and helping older adults better understand chronic disease, I've learned something that surprises many people. The healthiest seniors aren't always the ones taking the newest medication. They're often the ones who understand how that medication fits into the bigger picture. Because medication is one tool, not the entire toolbox. Good health depends on much more than a single prescription. Think about watering a garden. If the flowers begin to wilt, adding more water might help. But what if the soil is poor? What if insects are damaging the roots? Or what if the plants simply aren't getting enough sunlight? Water alone can't solve every problem. Blood pressure medication works the same way. It controls one important piece of your health. But your heart, kidneys, arteries, sleep, stress, nutrition, and daily habits are all connected. Ignore those pieces, and the picture remains incomplete. Today, let's explore 5 silent mistakes many older adults make while taking blood pressure medication. The first mistake is probably the most common. Someone checks their blood pressure. It reads 124/76. Perfect. They close the monitor, smile, and never think about it again. But here's what surprises many people. Blood pressure is only one measurement. That reading doesn't tell you how flexible your arteries are. It doesn't reveal inflammation. It doesn't show whether your circulation is improving. It doesn't measure your energy level. And it certainly doesn't explain why you still feel exhausted every afternoon despite having perfect numbers. Doctors often ask, how are your readings? But an equally important question is, how are you feeling? Are you becoming dizzy? Do you feel unusually tired? Have you noticed swelling in your ankles? Are you sleeping well? These symptoms matter just as much. Imagine Margaret. She's 70 years old. Every appointment ends the same way. Your blood pressure looks excellent. Yet she struggles climbing stairs, loses energy before lunchtime, and assumes she's simply getting older. She never realizes something else may be going on. Months later, additional testing reveals untreated sleep apnea and early dehydration. Her medication wasn't failing. It just wasn't the entire answer. A safer habit is to keep 2 simple records, one for your blood pressure and another for your daily symptoms. Those 2 pieces together give your doctor a much clearer picture. And sometimes, that picture changes everything. The next silent mistake is believing blood pressure medication only affects the heart. In reality, that's far from the whole story. Medicines like Lisinopril and Losartan also work through the kidneys. That's one reason they're often prescribed for people with diabetes or kidney disease. But here's the important part. Your kidneys naturally change over time, especially after the age of 65. Because they change, your medication may need closer monitoring than it did 5 years ago. The problem is that kidney stress usually develops quietly. You won't necessarily feel pain, and you may not notice any obvious symptoms at all. Everything can appear completely normal until blood tests reveal something different. Think of your home's water filter. You can't tell it's clogged just by looking at the faucet. Water still comes out, even though the filter may no longer be working properly. Only when someone checks the filter do they discover the problem. Your kidneys deserve that same attention. Ask your healthcare provider how often your kidney function should be checked. Simple blood and urine tests can often detect changes long before serious symptoms appear. That small conversation could prevent much bigger problems later. Another mistake many seniors make is not drinking enough water. Most people don't realize they're naturally becoming less thirsty with age, even though their bodies still need adequate hydration every day. Now combine mild dehydration with blood pressure medication. Suddenly, standing up becomes risky. Your vision briefly blurs. The room starts to spin. You instinctively reach for the nearest chair. These episodes may seem harmless, but they can increase the risk of dangerous falls. Falls remain one of the leading causes of injury among older adults. Sometimes people blame weak legs. Sometimes they blame aging. But mild dehydration is often quietly contributing to the problem without anyone realizing it. Consider Robert. He's 77. Every afternoon, he feels lightheaded after getting out of his recliner. He assumes it's normal. Eventually, his doctor discovers he's drinking only 3 small glasses of water a day because he wants to avoid frequent bathroom trips. After gradually improving his hydration and reviewing his medication schedule with his physician, his dizziness becomes much less frequent. It wasn't magic. It was simply understanding how different parts of the body work together instead of focusing on just one number. One practical habit is to sip water consistently throughout the day instead of waiting until you feel thirsty. However, if you have heart failure, kidney disease, or another condition requiring fluid restrictions, always follow your doctor's advice rather than increasing your fluid intake on your own.